Hey, this is Mike. Thank you so much for choosing this video. Today we're checking out a 2025 Nissan Murano, completely redesigned Murano. Now this is an all-wheel drive vehicle in the Platinum trim. This vehicle is sitting on 255/50 Bridgestone tires wrapped around 21-inch alloy wheels with a gloss black finish with aero inserts that are a dark gray. The name of this color is Aurora Blue Pearl. And it's kind of like a teal looking blue to my eyes, but it does have like a metal flake accent there. It looks pretty cool, especially on a vehicle like this. And check out that front end, completely redesigned to be very sleek looking. And it's pretty impressive. I mean, the overall shape, the contours and everything, it's looking pretty good to my eyes anyway. Now it has the parking sensors up here. You can see one here in the color, and there in the black as well. The radar adaptive cruise control is there in the very center. Now there's a camera right in here, integrated into the emblem. Now, I wish the back was like that. We'll see what the back looks like in a second. So it has this gloss black piece right here, and it kind of connects the headlights, kind of like connects it, but it kind of segments the front end. So we have that portion, we have this portion, and then we have another portion. So it kind of pancakes and divides up the front end. But yeah, it still looks good, but you know, it has a horizontal styling going on here. I guess they emphasize the width, I suppose. So we have some accent lights here in the front, as well as LED. It's basically a triple projector on each side. It's actually two projectors in each housing, so I guess you could say 2, 4, 6 on each side. It's pretty interesting, and we'll do a full night video so you can check it out, see what it looks like, and how it performs at nighttime as well. Looking at the profile, that gloss black that we saw there in the front here extends here at the base of the doors as well. And then we have the gloss black pillars, and the bottom portion of the glass has this little black trim, but the upper portion has a chrome strip, kind of emphasizing the swoopiness of the top there. Body colored handles, black side mirrors. And let me know what you think of the wheels. They're not easy to clean, I just say that. And they have this kind of like hubcap aero insert into them as well. It's kind of interesting. This is what the key looks like, and it's a full proximity key. A little bit different than some of the previous generations. It's still light and not overly large. There's a physical key there on the inside as well. But it does have the remote start, lock, unlock, the ability to open up the power liftgate, and a panic button here. But it's designed to where you just keep it in your pocket, really, to use the vehicle. So the way this handle is designed, it just has a single button for lock and unlock. So right now it's locked. It doesn't have a sensor on the back of the handle like a lot of other manufacturers. Now some Nissans do have the sensor on the back, but this one doesn't. It's just a simple press the button to lock and to unlock it. So now we've unlocked it. And there's a physical key location here on the driver's side only. The doors go all the way to the bottom of the vehicle. And what it does, it uses this seal right here. You can see a seal, and it seals up this full threshold to keep it relatively clean as you're driving. Now the interior is awesome. Just kind of like give you a quick look here, because with this exterior color, and then you have this green or whatever you want to call it, green interior, just like it just looks really good. And so yeah, we have the contrast stitching here in a French design here at the top, and this is all soft touch, very soft, and it's kind of like a vinyl material. And then you have some stitching there. This is enclosed, so you can utilize that as a pocket, this handle right here. It is hard plastic in the bottom though. And then you have this accent here, kind of accent material. You also have a ambient light there as well. You can see that in the night video. The hard touch surfaces are here at the bottom, and then you have the pockets here as well. But yeah, I was very impressed with the way it looks, the color and everything. And check out these seats. So there's leather seats, and they have a massage function, up, down, four-way lumbar adjustment, all the niceties that you normally find on the driver's seat here on the passenger seat. And he has these diamond perforations in there, looking nice. And check it out, when you look here, it transitions to a black portion with the contrast stitching popping out even more, and it has that diamond quilted look. Really impressive. Plenty of legroom here in the front. A little bit of tapering going on right there, but other than that, it's overall good. There is a place right there where you can put stuff. Both the driver and the passenger can use that space. Now this is a hard touch surface, locking glove compartment, smooth plastic on the inside, and nothing special there, just kind of drops down, no soft landing or anything. Then we have like this simulated wood right here, looking nice. And then we have more of that material that we saw here on the door. I don't know how to explain it. It looks really cool. Or I guess that's an explanation, cool looking. You have more of that French stitching here. And then the dash is a kind of like a rubbery, soft, non-reflective surface. This does have the panoramic sunroof. We'll get to that later. So you can see the opening here is really good here in the front. Lots of leg room and headroom and all that stuff getting in. The height of the seat is perfect, just very easy to just hop in and out, right? Now the back door swing is really nice because it almost is a 90-degree angle. And this helps out because there's a little bit less room here, but overall there's plenty of room getting in and out. But I really like the way they have the swing of the door a little bit better. And that just, I like that. It just shows they're paying attention to make sure that you're, able to get in and out of the vehicle comfortably. Now it has the privacy shade here in addition to the privacy glass, and it retracts down into the door. We have more. They didn't really skimp anything here. We have the same, French stitching. We had the accents here, soft touch surfaces, all that good stuff here on the back doors as well. And doors back here go all the way down as well, so covering up that threshold area. Now the back seat is basically a bench seat, and it has armrest with cup holders, obviously, nice and soft here. That lifts up, and it has the latch system for car seats on the outer part, but not the center part. And it has these little plastic pieces which you have to take off and lose. So it's all right, but it just kind of covers them up when you're not using them. Which they're still obvious, right? So it's not like it's, I wish there was just a little bit of a different design there for hiding those. At the same time, you don't have these like real obvious pieces there and pieces that you have to take off and lose. So yeah, a lot of other manufacturers have solved that issue, but they're still working on it here, I suppose. Now the back floor is almost completely flat, which is nice. And then the back of the passenger seat has the mat pocket, but not the driver's seat. And then there's climate control vents back here, 2 USB-C ports, and heated seat control. So it's a 3-stage heated seat, and it's the outer portion. Taking a look at the back of the vehicle, you can see the upper portion here is a gloss black. There's even a shark fin antenna here, it's gloss black. Now it has a third brake light here in the rear spoiler, but under here is a hidden wiper. Probably can't even see it because it's so well hidden under there. But yeah, hidden wiper under there. It kind of swoops down, which is nice. And nice clean look. Full LED taillights, and once again, check out the night video if you want to see how they look and everything. Kind of has a piano design going on here, but yeah, we'll check out the night video. It says Murano nice and big in the back. Now it has the camera. It is in the center, the backup camera. It is in the center, which is great, but this is like the perfect spot for it right here. The high position in the very center, integrated nicely. It doesn't look like tacked on next to the tag like an aftermarket product. Parking sensors back here, integrated. They have like a gray portion, gloss black, and then the body color. Once again, we're emphasizing width here. can see the contour of the vehicle there on the sides, looking pretty cool. The exhaust is fairly well hidden back here. Now there's a button for opening up the power liftgate, and it's right here. I love it. We're not reaching underneath somewhere, trying to reach for it, feel for it, or whatever. You just press this button right here, and we're able to open the power liftgate without a fuss. And this is a hard plastic under here. If you have all the seats occupied with passengers, this is the cargo space, which is pretty substantial. Now it has a place that you can put a shade in place if you want. It doesn't have one on this vehicle. There's lights, one on each side, and we'll see how well they work at night in the night video. Now one thing is it has these like pockets right here, which is nice, but things fall in there. So it'd be nice to have like a little barrier or something like that, at least a little net or something. There is tie downs there, as well as there in the front. You can also release the seats, has these little levers here on each side to release the seats to flop them down. Under this floor, so that basically this is like a carpet and has rubber on the underside, and does a decent job of keeping things from sliding around. This floor is just laying here though. There's no latch or anything. And when you lift it up, this is where you'll find the full diameter spare tire and the Bose subwoofer as well. Then you have the tools for the spare tire, the jack and stuff, and some space around here so you can put some stuff as well. So subfloor storage, which is nice. Huge spare tire, just look at that. It has this little hook right here, and basically all this does is just go up here. See if I can do it with one hand and hold it up for you, because it kind of flops down on you and get in your way. So this kind of holds it up. So if you're accessing the spare tire and stuff, you kind of need that out of the way. So these seats are a 60-40 split, so you can add to your cargo space while still maintaining passenger space. And folding them down is very simple. You just pull the latch and it flops down. Just make sure there's nobody in the way, nothing in the way. But yeah, it just kind of flops down really aggressively. And but look at there. I mean, the load floor now is almost completely flat. It's very, very close to being flat. So if you got a big box or something, it's very easy to just kind of slide it in place. And same thing on the other side. Just kind of flop it down like so. And but yeah, you've added to your cargo space tremendously within seconds. Lowering the power liftgate, there's two buttons here. One is to simply just lower it. The other one is to lower it and then lock the vehicle. So if you got all your groceries out and you want to walk away, you hit that button, walk away, and the vehicle, it'll close up and lock. The fuel door is here on the driver's side, and it locks with the vehicle. When the vehicle's locked, it's locked. And then there is a capless design, so it's pretty straightforward. Now basically you can use regular gas, but since it's a turbocharged engine, probably best to use premium, but you can use regular fuel. As long as the key's inside the vehicle, just press and hold the brake, press this button to start it up. Here's the floorboard in front of the driver's seat. Floor mat snaps in place. There's the accelerator, brake pedal. There's the footrest. You can see a little bit of tapering going on right there though, but it's decent. Let's take a look under the hood. To raise the hood, there is a latch right here in the very center. Reach in, move it to the left, lift up. That's right here is what it's doing. So yeah, the hood holds itself up, which is nice. And there's insulation on the under the hood. There's seals here in the back. There's a lot of insulation there on the firewall. Insulation there on the sides as well. I think part of the reason why it has so much insulation here is because the engine's a little buzzy when you drive it. It's not loud or anything, but you can hear it, especially if you're revving it high. Now it has the suspension towers, and we can tell it's like there's a brace bolting in here that goes over to the other one, and it feels very solid in the front. I mean, it feels solid overall. But yeah, 4-cylinder engine, and it's oriented this way. So it's an all-wheel drive vehicle, but it's oriented like a front-wheel drive. The battery is over here, insulated as well, easy to get to. So this is powered by a 2.0 liter 4-cylinder turbocharged engine, putting out 241 horsepower, 260 pound-feet of torque, and it's paired to a 9-speed automatic transmission. The blind spot indicator is here on the side mirror. It's right there. Little indicator illuminates when there's a vehicle in your blind spot. The driver's side door is just like the other side, except for it has a few more buttons. And so you have 2 presets for the power seat. The power windows here are all one touch up and down. So we can just one touch down. It is laminated glass. One touch up. And in the back glass, let me see how far down it goes. It doesn't go all the way down. You can see the privacy shades up there. But yeah, and this is not laminated back here. Side mirrors are adjusted here. You just pick a side and then adjust with that little pad. It also has a power folding feature. So you press that button, it'll power fold in the side mirrors. You can also set it to where it'll power fold when the vehicle's locked as well. Door lock controls are here. Massage seat function, 4-way lumbar adjustment, all the adjustments, basically the same thing as the passenger. So the driver's seat doesn't one up the passenger this time, but it is nice. Looks really good. Feels good too. And they call these zero gravity seats. So they're trying to spread the weight, your weight, onto a little bit back and more onto the back of the seat as well as the bottom. And it works in this vehicle. It works well. To the left of the steering column is a electronic parking brake. You pull to engage it. It has a little indicator light there. It engages the rear wheels. You also have the auto hold function here. Lane keep assist system, you can turn on or off. The heads up display, you can turn off here. This is the heated steering wheel, which is just on or off, just has an on light. And then you have the ability to open up the power liftgate. And then there's a tilt and telescoping, powered tilt telescoping steering column as well. I'm sitting in the driver's seat. I'm 6 feet tall, and I have the driver's seat all the way back and all the way down to give you an idea of the potential legroom here. And it is a lot. It's actually too far back for me to drive. Like, I could put my legs straight out. So if you're over 6 feet tall, should have no problem driving this vehicle. And so yeah, lots of room here on the left side and the right side. This is soft touch, so if you happen to rest your leg on it, it's not really a big deal. Now this steering wheel is wrapped, but it has a little bit of a soft rubber texture to it, so it feels very comfortable. It's not like, it has a good thickness, but also the softness just helps out so much. And being open here, so as you're driving, you have different positions you can put your hand. Instead of having all these spokes everywhere, you have just 2, and so you can put your hand in pretty much any position here. It doesn't have any kind of like aggressive, grips or anything like that. It's a little bit of a flat bottom, but it looks good. It feels really good. And a lot of times other steering wheels, I want to put my hand in a certain spot, and it has all these spokes everywhere. So this gives you full freedom here. There's also paddle shifters on the back here and here. Here on the left side is the cruise control. Right on the bottom of that is the volume for the radio. And over here is change to the tracks. And then these buttons, other than the voice recognition, correspond with both of these screens. I'll show you that in a second. Now the windshield wiper controls are here for the front and back. Turn signals here, but it also has the headlight switch with an automatic function. There's a button on the end of the stock here for the automatic high beams. I should mention that I have the massage seat function turned on, and it's just the back. It's not on the bottom. It's just the back, basically in the lumbar area, and it has different options here: relaxing, refreshing, and lumbar. Feels about the same, but you do have some level of adjustments there, and it's on both the driver and the passenger. So as you press the button here on the side of the seat, it pops this up so you can adjust it. And feels pretty good. It's not like a super advanced massage seat or anything, but it feels pretty good. It's nice to have a little bit of massage while you're driving, especially in the lower back. It's nice. Keep the blood circulating and everything. Gauge cluster is a full digital screen, and so you can see it has a simulated RPM tachometer over here, what gear you're in, engine coolant temperature, odometer, clock, outside temperature, and it shows the digital speedometer with a simulated dial, fuel gauge, and then you have the distance to empty. And you have information here in the center, which you can customize. So this button right here, the side of this steering wheel, has 2 buttons on left and right. So if you press this left one, it pops up information here. If you press the right one, then it gives you the ability to do some kind of controls here on the right screen. So if we Go ahead and put it back on the left. We have a kind of like a diagonal steer wheel right here, like a little scroll wheel basically. And then you have arrows up and down, and then you have this back button. And then you can also press in on the wheel itself to make selections. So let's go back out of here. So now we're adjusting this. So if we go left and right, so you can see it's part of a menu system here. Let's go all the way to the beginning here. So there's the beginning, and you can scroll up and down sometimes on certain ones. You can have nothing here. You can have that, which is the status of your lane keep assist system and stuff. Going to the right, fuel economy. We can go up and down here on that. And this one is your status, more information on the status of your stop-start. All-wheel drive system, whether the power is going to the front or the back wheels. And then this is the tire pressure. Going to the right again is a navigation map. The next one is your audio source. Right now it's set to Bluetooth audio, but you can change the source by using the steering wheel here. And this is the adaptive cruise control. And the last one is your settings, which you can go in and do all kinds of different settings. Your heads-up display settings are here, and stuff like that. You can also customize the display here. You can change the meter view. Just make it look like that. Now when we go back out, and let's go over to the navigation map. So you can see the navigation map's a little bit bigger now. So if you want the navigation up, that would probably be a better screen for that. You can also choose the main menu selection here. So we can have all these different things checked or unchecked. So all the different things that we can have on the screen, not all of them that we want to use all the time. So if we want to uncheck some of these, we could do that. The touchscreen over here, this is the home screen. So right now in the home, we have a split between the radio or whatever the audio source is, any device is connected, and the navigation map. And you see it actually has a satellite view, which is pretty cool. But it also shows you the status of the climate control here, digital clock, and stuff like that. Now we can swipe to the right and get more information here. Access different features. I like the way interior lights are under apps. Everything's an app now, right? An application, but yeah, that's what they call it. That's where that's where it's located. You have different views for your camera, which you can access here. We'll get to that soon. It does have Apple CarPlay, Android Auto. The icons here, where this top one, the next one is the navigation map. So you could do searches right here. Look for gas stations, restaurants, that kind of stuff. But yeah, pretty cool. I like the way it's a satellite view. And we can let's zoom out. See how far we can zoom out. Let's see if it's going to show us the whole Earth. Gives us most of the Earth anyway. That's pretty cool. So the next one will be your audio source, or your radio, or whatever you're playing. So AM, FM, satellite radio, Android Auto, Apple CarPlay, Bluetooth, and you have USBs. You also have Amazon Alexa, Internet Radio, and podcast app, I guess. I suppose that runs off your phone. And the next one will be your phone. You pair your phones here. It also has a voice recognition system, which will, I'm going to go ahead and press it and see what happens. Cancel. So yeah, you can use your voice recognition here, but there's also a button here as well. And then these little squares are for, quote, apps, which, like I said, all features of the vehicle basically, including, the interior lights and stuff. So we have the information about the climate control down here, and then we have the controls for the climate control here as well. So we can press this, and it pops up here, so we can adjust the temperature and all that, where we want the air to blow, all the features. We also have some redundancy down here to make it easier. So temperature, front and rear defrosters, fan speed, automatic function, recirculate the air, and then the passenger side temperature there. And this is on this like kind of simulated wood grain, and it has a light shining through it. It's pretty cool. And if you press it, you kind of have to not just touch, you have to kind of press in on it. And basically you'll feel a little haptic feedback as you're pressing it. It's pretty neat. And then it'll show on the screen, you know, basically what you're doing. Below that is 2 USB-C ports and a wireless charger. And I have my cell phone right there now to show you that it actually does charge with this thick case on it, if you have it in the right spot. There's this little lip right here that if you just throw your phone in there, it can get caught up on that lip and it's not laying flat. I'm not sure why they did that. I like to just throw it in there, but if you place it in there properly without it going on that lip and it's flat, it'll charge. And it is a rubber surface, very aggressive rubber, so that it keeps your phone from sliding around, and haven't had any problem with it. It has these little keepers here on the side. So yeah, it's good. Now the shifter is here, and it's basically just buttons to press. So you put it in drive, press it again to use the paddle shifters in manual mode. Then you have neutral, reverse, and then park. And when you put it in reverse, of course the backup camera pops up, but it also has a 360 camera system, which is pretty good. And your parking sensors show over here on the screen as well. But you have different views here. So right now I'm showing the top-down view, which is decent resolution. It's not spectacular, but you're able to see around the vehicle. This is the rear view, and it has these little tire tracks there, as well as the active guideline. So as I turn the steering wheel, it'll show you an estimated trajectory of the vehicle with a center line as well. But there's the other views here, so you can press that button, and we have the side view, including the tires. So there's the front tire right there. So as we're backing out of a parking spot, let's say there's something we need to be paying attention to that's around, you know, that could affect the front side of the vehicle, we got that view as well. If we want like a super wide rear view, which can be come in handy if you're backing out of a parking spot that has very limited visibility or no visibility, and you can't see around, this gives you actually a view both ways behind you. It does have rear cross traffic alert as well, but actually seeing behind you, you know, the pedestrians or whatever, is really, really good. I like the way you can see both ways. It's a very stretched out view, and once you understand what you're looking at, you're actually looking both ways at the same time in the center. So yeah, really handy. I'm going to put it back in park, and now if we press this button, the camera button, we can press that, and as we keep pressing it, it'll give us different views here. So there's the front view, there is a what they call an invisible hood view. So this is the front of the vehicle. The front wheels are right there. I'm going to turn the steering wheel so you can see those wheels turning. And it basically takes away your vehicle and just gives you a simulated look around what would be there, or what is there. It's actually a real picture, but it's just kind of simulating the tires and stuff. So you press the camera button, again, it goes away. But yeah, you just press it, you can pop up here. So if you're in drive, if you need to see the front view, it's no problem. You can see the front and the back and all that stuff, and you have the different views. You also have this 3D modeled view here, and you can choose different angles. And once again, it simulates the vehicle, and then it just shows you the accurate surroundings. So for whatever reason, you can, you know, if this is helpful, you can use it. When you get it in the vehicle, the idle stop will automatically be on. So when you come to a complete stop, it'll turn the engine off. But you can turn that feature off by pressing that button. Now there's a little storage cubby right here with a rubber bottom, which is nice, little quick access place. You have the little cup holders here. Once again, rubber in the bottom. Armrest has a property line. That's pretty cool. That's stitching in the middle, keep your passenger arm on their side. But it's not like soft. It feels like a tire. It's kind of rubbery soft at best. And so it's not like cushy like a soft pillow or anything. And the reason why I mention that is because if you're on a long trip or something and your arm is touching something, it's like right there on a nerve. Like your ulnar nerve, I think it is, right there on your elbow. And if it's not soft, it could really be a painful experience, you know, if you're resting your arm right on that nerve the whole time. So a softer armrest would be preferable, you know. So this opens up, and it kind of has a spring-loaded effect, doesn't slap back down on you. And it has a little quick storage access there. I got my business cards and stuff in the way. We'll get that out of the way. But yeah, it's a little compartment. put some stuff. There's no connectivity or charging or anything like that. So there's no place for wires to go in and out of the compartment. There's no dedicated spot. You could probably squeeze it in there, but there's no dedicated spot for wires to go in and out. The rearview mirror is an auto dim rearview mirror. It's actually auto dimming now because I have the shade over the light sensor, which is located back here. There's also the home link garage door opener controls there on the bottom. So right here is a place to put your sunglasses, and it has like a felt lining here as well as the back as well. So it's all in there. The felt is on the sides everywhere. Some vehicles have it just on the back, but not the sides. You do have some quick reading lights here. That's all lights here. But if you press the lens itself, it'll give you the individual light for driver and passenger. And when you have the lights on, there's a separate button here for adjusting the brightness. So you can just kind of cycle through and land on the one that you want. The sunroof is controlled here. There's the shade and the sunroof, and this is a roadside assistance button. We'll look at the sunroof in a second. Now the visor has a little clip mirror with a light up here that turns on, and it also extends out as well, and does a decent job of covering most of the side window there. And it's like a cloth material, just like the headliner. It looks like a beige to me. The sunroof has a shade that covers 100% of the light, and we can move it back. We press it the first time, it's gonna go like halfway back. And then we gotta press it again to make it go all the way back. This back window is fixed, the front one can move. So this left switch right here, we can push up on it to tilt it. We can pull back on it to slide it back, and it slides under the rear glass. Press it again, it goes a little bit further back. So looking at the visibility back here, it has a fairly wide pillar, and it has that little triangle window. Overall, it's okay. I mean, that pillar is wide, but the little triangle window does help out. And also you have a lot of technology, like the camera system, the parking sensors, rear cross traffic alert, all that kind of stuff to help you drive the vehicle safely. Blind spot detection system. Now, just visibility though is very important, as well as the technology. And I haven't really had an issue with that. I mean, it's every vehicle, when you get it new, you have to get used to it, the blind spots, and just kind of like be careful, and once you get used to where you can see and where you can't, then you're fine. But like this vehicle, it's not really an issue. I mean, I hadn't really had any problems with it, and if there is a blind spot issue, I'll let you know. But yeah, there's a little space right here is good. So yeah, it's nothing exceptional as far as a problem. It's just normal, issues that you have to work around. A little engine, it's kind of surprising. It has a little bit of power. Once the RPMs get up there, it really does take off. Pretty interesting. Just normal driving, it feels a little bit, it's not like, doesn't feel that powerful, but as soon as you get those RPMs up, man, does it come alive. It kind of has a little bit of a buzzy engine, but you don't really hear it that much unless you're revving it really high. Overall, when I first got in the vehicle, my very first impression was I was very comfortable in the seat. The seat felt just exceptionally good. And then just the overall, driving experience and the smoothness of the suspension, and, it just has a little bit of a floaty feel to it. And it looks nice. That combination of the exterior green and then the green interior, and then the ambient lights are set to green as well. All that kind of like, and just the style of it, especially the inside, to me looks really good. It's just an impressive presentation, with the color matching the inside seats and that dark color. It's just it just had a really positive impression when I first saw it and looked at it, felt it, drove it. It's just one of those type of vehicles where it just kind of stood out, you know. And also this new Murano, you know, like Murano has been a, you know, it's like a main vehicle for Nissan, and it's very practical, and you know, it's not overly big, but it has a lot of capabilities. And so now redesigning the Murano, it looks quite a bit different. I mean, it kind of reminds me a little bit of, as far as the interior kind of reminds me of the Aria, the Nissan Aria. And then the exterior kind of reminds me of the new kicks that I saw. I guess I saw the kicks first, you know. So it kind of, you know, shaped my perception. But yeah, it's, you know, it looks good. It looks modern. It looks like it's been modernized. The interior is nice and comfortable, and, you know, it has some features that I think are an improvement to some degree. At least aesthetically, it's definitely an improvement. There's a lot of stuff that's, you know, kind of like the same. You know, that it still has the 360 camera system, which is sort of surround view or whatever they call it in this brand. But yeah, it works well, and you know, full digital screen here is nice. And you know, there's a little bit of a learning curve on some of these features, but yeah, I would say that the Murano, just the driving experience, I think it's one of those vehicles that you'll get in it and you'll enjoy driving it for the most part. I think most people will. It's easy to drive. You got comfortable seats and everything. Relatively quiet. It does have a little bit of road noise, a little bit of wind noise, a little bit of exterior noise. It's not like super deafening quiet like some vehicles, but you can definitely, it's enough, right? It's enough to make you feel good. Has a good Bose sound system, and which I'm enjoying listening to the new retro metal channel, and so yeah, the good radio, and so that kind of drowns out exterior noises anyway, you know, because I'm usually not driving just, you know, silence. I'm having some music playing or having a conversation or something, so there's just a little bit of noise that you hear typically just gets drowned out anyway. But yeah, it's not like the most super quiet. It's not loud either, but it's just one of those vehicles that, you know, you do have a little bit of road noise. You do have a little bit of exterior noises. You know, it's not a big deal, but, you know, it's worth mentioning. Now it has, you know, has the lane keep assist system that wants to beep at me. I got to turn off the beeping. That's one thing I have to do. I don't mind, like, you know, alerts or whatever, but it already vibrates the steering wheel. I just don't like it beeping at me too. Too many beeping in new cars, in my opinion. But yeah, the heads-up display is kind of interesting. It doesn't matter where you put the brightness level. It just has an automatic brightness anyway. It's just like your input is like a suggestion, and then it'll just automatically adjust itself. And there's a lot of times in which it's just not bright enough. But it's all right. And also the speedometer is like way to the right, and other stuff to the left. So it's kind of like, you know, I don't know, it's a little bit off. It's a little bit not in my field of view as much. It's more like in the ditch area. So be nice if it was more in the middle and then the other things were around it. But anyways, that's kind of interesting. As far as just, you know, enjoyable to drive, I think it is. I mean, it's not like a fast vehicle or anything like that. There's nothing really stands out as far as, like, it's not fast, it's not super quiet, it's not, I mean, the suspension is nice and cushy, but it's just kind of like an all-arounder practical vehicle that, you know, if you like the style and it is within your budget and all that stuff, yeah, it's definitely worth taking for a test drive and checking out, because there's so many vehicles like this. You know, there's so many vehicles that have overlapping features. This one, you know, there's nothing really stand out, like exceptional in one aspect. It's kind of like all around, you know, type vehicle. I appreciate that the lane keep assist system, when it's activated, the ProPILOT Assist on this one, this particular vehicle. And the Nissan has been kind of spotty on this particular feature, but on this one, it holds the lane very well, and it doesn't fight with you. Now, there's some vehicles that don't hold the lane very well, but it also doesn't fight with you, and there's some vehicles that hold the lane really well, but it's constantly fighting with you, right? This one is, you know, it feels good. Now, some of the other Nissans with the ProPILOT Assist, it has the upgraded version where it's going to hold the steering wheel, and you don't have to hold the steering wheel. I mean, it steers, and you don't have to hold the steering wheel on certain highways, right? And then it works great in that mode. But as soon as you put it on the regular mode, then it's kind of fighting with you and stuff. This one is actually working well, and it has a grip sensor too. I don't know if you noticed that. I just barely put my hand on the steering wheel. It senses my hand, and it doesn't, you know, bug me. And that's a very good positive, because a lot of vehicles rely on a torque sensor, so you have to constantly move the steering wheel. And if you don't move the steering wheel, even if your hands are both hands on the steering wheel, right, it'll constantly give you an alert. So you have to go like this to let the system know that you're holding the steering wheel, and it's it could be a problem, you know. It happens too much anyway on a lot of vehicles. This one has the grip sensor. It holds the lane nicely. We're not getting any kind of like struggle session with there's no, like, you know, fighting with you as you're trying to drive, trying to put you in a different position from where you're at. So yeah, the improvement of the lane keep assist system, it's working well, right? The improvement over other Nissans that I've driven, which is having some issues, this one is actually pretty good. And that's kind of, you know, I kind of focus on that because, you know, you're interacting with the steering wheel the whole time you're driving, right? So if you're having an issue with a feature that directly relates to the steering wheel, then it's kind of a big deal in your driving experience. So that's why I kind of like focus on that sometimes, you know, because it's, you know, it affects your direct experience with driving it. And sometimes you don't notice it on a test drive because you might not even turn on the cruise control in a test drive, right? Or the lane keep assist system or anything like that, the ProPILOT Assist. You might just drive it around and you don't really know, you know, the features. Because a lot of, you know, like some brands will check a box. That's what they're doing. They're just checking a box. It has lane keep assist system? Yes. And when you actually use it, it's so unrefined and doesn't work well. I got to turn off those beeping. It doesn't work well to where you just turn it off, and this becomes a feature that you paid for but you don't use, you know. So having a feature like this where it works well, I like. But yeah, the beeping, and I'm pretty sure in the settings I'll be able to turn off the beeping. It's just by default, I guess they have it on. Somebody turned it on, but I'm not a fan of the beeping because it distracts you from your driving. You know, it's like alert you to what you're doing by distracting you from what you're doing. You know, it doesn't make any sense.